program. It took a lot of work from a lot of people, but one man who's been extremely helpful in putting this together is the Consul General of Russia. If I could have Alexander Zakharov stand once again. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your efforts in helping bring this to the city of Houston. He's here, but people have traveled, as the mayor said, a long ways to be at today's event, and one of those is an international Russian leader, a man who resided in this country for a long time but is now back in Moscow, still with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He is the director of the Department of North America for the Russian Federation Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Would you please welcome Alexander Darchev. Mr. Darchev.
Honorable Mrs. Mayor, Honorable Mr. Holden, dear colleagues and friends, it's a great honor for me to join you for the ceremonial inauguration of the monument to outstanding Russian citizen Yuri Alexeyevich Gagarin, who was the first human to travel into space. We are also paying tribute to the famed US astronaut John Glenn. I'm particularly happy to welcome amongst us Yuri Gagarin's daughter Galina and her son, grandchild of the great trailblazer who also has the name of Yuri. Our countries were pioneers in space research. It was almost 40 years ago that Soviet cosmonauts and American astronauts shook hands in orbit as part of Soyuz Apollo test project. I was only 15 years ago then, but I vividly remember the remarkable day. Despite the Cold War and differences between our countries, Russia and the United States joined efforts in space, which belongs to all mankind. My childhood memories may not sound politically correct in the beginning of the 21st century, but what stuck in my mind in 1975 were Soyuz Apollo cigarettes launched on the occasion of the historic docking, also a joint venture between the tobacco companies of our countries. I'm glad that my 9-year-old daughter is in Moscow now and she does not hear these words. But she surely does know about such present-day advanced space cooperation project as the International Space Station. Luckily, there are no cigarettes named after it. All of us have been enchanted with the romance of conquering the skies since childhood days. Russians and Americans were first to fly high and became world legends irrespective of national and state borders. Among them were the Wright brothers, Charles Lindbergh, Amelia Earhart, and Valery Chkalov, who made the first transfollow flight from Moscow to Vancouver in the United States. This year we celebrate the 75th anniversary of this remarkable journey. With this first space flight on April 12, 1961, Yuri Gagarin ushered in a new era of manned space exploration. Then, just 10 months later, John Glenn went into orbit and circled our planet 3 times in a tiny capsule. Just imagine what Yuri Gagarin meant for the people of his time. A handsome young man with a charming, friendly smile immediately became an image and a hero not only for our country, but for the entire new space age. With his goodwill visits across the globe, he did more to bridge the gap between nations than anyone else at that time. It's highly symbolic that the idea of putting up the monument came from Kaluga region, which is the cradle of Russia's space program and the place where outstanding scholar and inventor Konstantin Tsiolkovsky lived and worked. The dialogue of cultures United World International Foundation carried out the project under the patronage of the administration of the Kaluga region. The initiative was also supported by the government of Moscow, which has a cooperation agreement with the city of Houston. We have brought with us messages of greetings from Governor of Kaluga region Anatoly Artemonov and Mayor of Moscow Sergei Sobyanin. Even half a century later, being a cosmonaut or an astronaut is not only an extremely challenging but a truly heroic task. Through space flights have now become almost routine. Professionals do know that every new start towards the stars is, without exaggeration, a remarkable feat. The monument inaugurated today will stand as a token of cooperation between our countries in exploring space for the benefit of all people, with the prospect of deeper discoveries of the universe and even going beyond the limits of the solar system. Yuri Gagarin won the hearts of millions of people, arousing a lifelong space fever in them. Throughout his life, he adhered to the principle formulated by another great Russian aviator, Valery Chkalov. To be means to be the first. The cause of Gagarin and Glenn has been carried forward by several generations of space conquerors. One day, flights from Earth to Mars or Venus may become just as routine as a first-class frequent flyer miles flight from Moscow to Houston. But even then, we must remember the pioneers who laid this path. I believe that this monument will stand as a worthy contribution to preserving our common heritage, as a symbol of continuity in manned space flights, as a bridge between the past, present, and future. This time, Houston, we have no problem, we have a solution. As Gagarin said, starting into space, let's go. Поехали. Thank you.